on the one hand, there's sort of a product, like there was a show. But then, on the other hand, deeper than that, there was this beautiful long-term collaboration. If that deep collaboration works, then you actually go deeper to what I would call nodes, points of truth or beauty. I don't know exactly what the right word is, but there's a kind of like deeper node. There's a sense of kind of reaching into some other level. I mean, partly you can tell just by the relationships that get built, by the trust that's there, by the risks that were taken. People are willing to take a risk together and then really get to things like beauty and eloquence and love and maybe even sadness and all kinds of emotions that are so valuable to explore.
I think it was a huge project of dialogue. And we sat with each one of the composers for hours just to talk about the space we were choosing for that particular piece, the things that we thought that may work in that space in terms of sound, in terms of movement, also in terms of interaction. How do we make the interaction between music and dance? And so through this dialogue, what I find really surprising and interesting and wonderful is that you create something that you wouldn't have been able to create alone. You need the other one, you need the pair. We were filming the whole thing, and then we were watching the films, and then we were saying, I feel this way, I think we should do that, I think we should do something different. And you need a lot of flexibility when you work that way. Like, you need to let go the preciousness of the thing. Because what is important is not the thing, so it's not the choreography or it's not the music piece, but what is important is the dialogue and what can emerge from that dialogue. And I think that, especially now in the moment that we are living as a humanity, we need that kind of process, not only in arts, in everything. We went to the Montgomery Place, we worked with a beautiful group of maybe 25 people. I always think that elder people started to become invisible. There's something about these bodies that apparently, and really apparently, lose their capacity of expression. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think that's the way it is. I think they just need a space to be expressive. And how can I provide that as a dancer? And so I wanted to create first a really nice sense of community. I wanted them to feel home, And then they started to move. Little by little. They were shy at the beginning, and we were talking about their past, and we were talking about their memories a lot. And then with those memories, we were creating little gestures. So from these gestures, we ended up doing a dance. They felt very empowered because they were moving. And I was like, of course, movement gives you power, and if you move and if you recover your identity through movement, it's really powerful.
There was never an expectation from anybody at any point that this had to be something that sold tickets, that we had to market it, that it had to have a PR campaign, and then we had to have an ad in the Chicago Tribune, and then we had to get the audience there, and then how many audience came, and what did they pay, and how many students, Because once you get into that whole world, the artists can kind of constrict a little. It's like, oh no, now we have to do this, And so the idea that it's the open space in Logan, anyone can walk in, the concert's free, the dance show is free, the collaboration is free, you can also meet all the artists afterward. I mean, that kind of feeling takes a lot of pressure off a project, a huge amount of pressure off. And when that pressure goes away, that's another way to get to those deeper nodes. You're willing to kind of go deeper because you're not up here like, oh, the show, the program book, the photographs, whatever the thing is, the press person or whatever, and you get rid of all that.
It's totally true, because when Shulamit called me and she told me about that, I was thinking, my mind was thinking in a producer mind, because I produce dance pieces that are going to be performed in theaters, and I produced an opera that is going to be played, in an opera house. So that's my regular life. And she was like, no, don't think about that. We don't need a piece. We just need you to come and work and research and see what happens, And then at the beginning I was freaking out, no, I can't do that. I'm always producing a piece. And then, once I understood, oh no, okay, this is different. This is just something that we have to see, in a very organic way, what is going to happen. then I was really, really happy and really relaxed, and I was really able to, invest myself through the point, and then at the end we had a piece, right?
There was a great piece.
But it was just a result of all these months of conversation and work together, and without all this pressure on our shoulders. So it ended up being perfect, I think, for me. And I have never had that experience again, because then I came back to produce again, right? But now I have a different sense also of the collaboration, and now actually more and more after this experience, I try to not put to myself like an end line. What I mean is that I start a piece, and then once it's done, I'm gonna premiere it. But I don't want to have a deadline. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I just want to create, and whenever it's ready, okay, here we go, right? But I learned that in this experience.